For rainbow trout. It's an awesome place. The lodge has grown over the years. The original guy that started the lodge was a gentleman named Ed Seiler, right? And his operation was really, really small. He built the lodge here. He had cabins 1 and 2. He had the lake house down at the bottom of the hill where him and his family lived. He took 4 guests a week. He was the pilot. He was the guide. His wife was the cook, and his daughter was the housekeeper, right? So since then, over the 60-year history of the lodge, it has changed ownership a couple times. Every time it's changed ownership, it's maybe gotten a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit better, okay? In 2001, Darren and Tracy came over here, and in 2002, the lodge had a complete and total renovation, right? So at that point, it did get a lot bigger and a lot better. What's really cool about the lodge, guys, is we're sitting right out here in this big, luxurious, beautiful building in the middle of Katmai National Park, right? Katmai National Park, we're right in the middle of 4.2 million acres of wild wilderness, right? So everywhere you look around you, there's a whole lot of nothing out here, okay? The park is 4.2 million acres, and then there's another 2.3 million acres just to the north of us. That's the preserve, okay? So in total, it's 6.5 million acres of set-aside designated land. Katmai, guys, it's a really cool park. It's one of the parks that sees probably the fewest user days of any of the parks in the national park system, just because of its remoteness, right? The only way to get here is via float plane, boat, or if you were really into it, you can start hiking at King Salmon and see how far you got, right? Not very. It's an incredible place. It goes down to the southeast of us here and butts up against the ocean down there in the Shelkoff Strait. Super remote, rugged terrain down there. It comes up to the north of us here. Big, wide, beautiful, sprawling tundra valleys like you see up there on the Moraine Creek and such. And then as it goes down to the southwest of us down here, you're almost down in the rainforest when you get down to Brooks. You guys have been to a lot of these places and you've seen it, but it's really cool because it's got a little bit of Alaska rolled up into all of it, right? The coast, the tundra, the rainforest, it's got everything. As you guys know, this week we're gonna have chances to see all sorts of really cool creatures out there in the rivers, right? We have a chance to see moose. We've been seeing actually a lot of moose from the air as we're flying to and fro. We've seen some caribou. We have a chance to see some wolves, some wolverines. As you guys know, Bristol Bay hosts the world's greatest run of sockeye salmon. Right? This year they guesstimate that run to be at 65.8 million fish. Okay? So that crushes any mark that we've ever set. Okay? So of that 65.8 million fish, they're going to guesstimate that we have an escapement in the rivers of 30 million. Right? 31 million fish are coming into the rivers. Just to put that into a little bit of perspective, in 2009, 2010, the total run was 31 million, right? So there is a lot of rojo going on. Yes. So that's great because if you're in the sockeye tournament, you have a chance to really shine. Yeah, we can shatter world record numbers in the sockeye. That'd be great. Right. Anyway, guys, as you guys know, this year we are definitely going to have, we're going to have the opportunity to see a lot of bears out there on the creek, right? So what we tell people when we're out there with the bears is they're fishing for the red guys. Sometimes we're fishing for the red guys. We're fishing for the silver guys with the red stripes, right? We all get along in peace and unity and we love each other, okay? The bears don't care about us. They don't pay any attention to us. We're going to pay a little bit of attention to the bears because they're bigger than we are, right? What we do is, you guys know, we have a few simple rules that we're going to try to abide by when we're out there fishing with the bears. The first one is what we call the 50-yard rule, okay? The 50-yard rule is really simple. If we're out there fishing, guys, and a bear comes wandering down the beach, he gets in within that 50-yard buffer zone of us, what we're going to do is we're going to stop fishing, and we're going to create a little bit of space, okay? So if we're out there fishing tomorrow and Scott says, hey, Chadwick, reel your line up, there's a bear coming down the beach. What Scott means is, Chadwick, reel your line up, there's a bear coming down the beach, okay? And obviously we're not going to sneak up on a sow laying on the beach with 2 little cubs 10 yards and try to get a picture of her there, right? So 50-yard buffer zone, we're just going to keep that distance the best we can at all times. The second thing, guys, is food. These bears, kind of like what we talked about, they don't recognize us as a food source. We never want them to recognize us as a food source, right? So we're going to keep our luncheon areas tidy and tight. We're never going to sit half a sandwich down to see if a bear wants to come over and have a little bit of it. We're not going to wave a cup of soup around and say they like our soup. We'll keep our lunches tidy and tight, and then we never want to let a bear get a fish off the end of our line, right? If we happen to, we're out there in the sockeye tournament and we're down by one, and we get the sockeye on, and we're reeling that bad boy in, and we got to get him in, and all of a sudden here comes Boo Boo out, and he sees that fish. We're going to break that fish off really, really quick.
But that's going to count, though. No, it's counting, and you don't want to win this tournament either. You got it all wrong. You don't want to win the sockeye. No. That's not good. Winning is not good. It's the one tournament you don't want to win.
Well, I'm disappointed. I'm in it to win it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, you get your name on a t-shirt.
Yeah, man. Whoever's with me, we're winning the sockeye tournament on Saturday. I promise. Anyway, we're never going to let a bear get a fish off the end of our lines, guys, because if we do, that bear might be our fishing companion for the rest of the day and maybe the rest of the week. Okay? So if a bear comes close, we got fish on, boom, we'll just break them off. We don't ever want them to associate us with a food source. And last but not least, guys, is gear, right? As you guys know, we're going to carry our packs and our bags out there on the creeks. We never want to set that pack down and wander downstream a couple of miles, because if we were to ever do that and Mr. Bear comes walking along, all he can do is take his big, beautiful claws, open our bags for us, and go through all of our stuff. The end result of that is very bad. Okay? So what we'll do, guys, is just keep your bags, what we say, arm's distance from us, okay? Most of the time we're going to have them on, but we'll keep them really close to us, and that way we'll have no problems with the bears whatsoever, right? As you guys know, and I always like to throw this out there, the opportunity to come out here and fish with these bears is probably as cool as the fishing itself, right? It's the only place on this planet that you're ever going to go, be out there, be able to sit on a river, watch a bear jump in, wolf down a sockeye salmon, and the biggest thing that we got to worry about is getting our cameras out and snapping a few pictures, right? It's an incredible experience, and this year, guys, it is awesome, man. With all those fish, the bears are so big and fat, and they just don't care right now, right? They're as happy as they will ever be. They're your zenith of content, right? So it is great. What we want to do, guys, is real quick, we're just going to talk about the day-to-day here at the lodge. As you guys know, it's 4 simple numbers to remember. The first one is a dreadful number, because that will be 6 a.m., right? 6 a.m., the gals will swing by your cabin, give you a little wake-up knock. If you would, pretty please, when they give you the wake-up knock, give them a buenos dias back. Let them know you're alive and kicking so they don't continue to wake up knock, okay? Let them know you're alive and kicking, have a cup of coffee, shake the cobwebs. Come on over here to the main lodge. We'll do breakfast at 6:30.